Hello there, fearfully and wonderfully made humans. It's me, Diana from Through the Valley Therapy. If you've listened to my previous episodes, then you have heard that I'm in South Florida, but I wanted to make sure that you understand my license serves the entire state of Florida. And maybe one day, if this counseling compact ever comes to fruition, I could become your therapist if you live in any of the states that signed the compact. Anyway, today is a special day because it's March 8th. International Women's Day. And I'm super excited to dedicate this entire episode to celebrating the amazing strength and resilience of women, especially the incredible Christian women that God has been bringing to Through the Valley Therapy for me to help. Now, before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to all the gentlemen tuning in. Even though I'm not a man myself, I've had the privilege of working with some fantastic male clients. So to all my current and future male clients out there, I see you, I hear you, and I respect you. Plus, after being married to my husband for almost 29 years and raising two incredible young men, I like to think I've picked up a thing or two about understanding the male psyche. So whether you're a woman or a man, I invite you to join me as we explore the rantings of this female Christian integrative therapist. Get ready for some real talk and hopefully some valuable insights. No matter your age, you're crafted with your very own unique blend of biology, psychology, and even theology. Your very own fingerprint. What works for me and my healing journey may not be your perfect fit, and that's totally okay. That's why when you choose to work with me, I make it my mission to understand every part of you with care, without any judgment, just pure compassion, faith, hope, and love. All right. I'm not here to help you deal with the superficial stuff, the things that barely scratch the surface. No way. I'm about going deep, tapping into that intuition of yours and teaching you how to listen to it in a way that's not only healthy, but also holistic. That's the real deal. When you step into my therapy space, it's not just about addressing the obvious problems. We're going to dive deep into the core of your struggles, the stuff that's been holding you back. I'm committed to getting to the root of what led you to seek therapy in the first place. That's why I choose to work on a self-pay basis and embrace a non-pathological approach. I truly believe that real healing happens when we tackle those foundational issues head on. And I'll be right there with you, guiding you through every step of the journey until you reach your mountaintop and hopefully soar like an eagle. Here's the thing. I don't want you to become a permanent fixture in my office. My paycheck doesn't come from keeping you stuck. It comes from seeing you thrive, not just survive. Of course, if you want to keep me in your back pocket for emergencies or tune-ups, I'm totally cool with that. I've got a handful of clients who need a safe space to process their secret battles, and some folks just need someone who's really good at listening, and that's me. By my ultimate goal, seeing you spread your wings and fly. Now, let's chat about my credentials. Beyond holding a license and boasting years of experience in the field, I bring a unique perspective to the table. As a brown woman navigating this amazing world, I've experienced firsthand the challenges and inequalities that come with it. My minor in women's studies from Florida Atlantic University, shout out Owls, further deepened my understanding of the feminist movement and the struggles faced by women throughout history. Through extensive research and introspection, I found a profound connection between my academic studies and my spiritual journey. One of my pivotal projects focused on women and religion, where I dove deep into religious texts to understand the historical treatment of women. It was during this exploration that I realized the revolutionary impact of Jesus in challenging the societal norms that marginalized women. By the way, it was during this trajectory that I was born again. But my testimony is not why I created this episode. So let's refocus. In today's fast-paced world, being a woman comes with its fair share of challenges. We're talking biological, physical, and spiritual stressors that can really take a toll on our mental health. From hormonal roller coasters to deep-rooted childhood wounds, from societal pressures to moments of self-doubt, navigating womanhood can sometimes feel like an never-ending uphill battle. But hang in there. Because in the midst of the struggles, there's always hope shining through. Where there's pain, there's also an incredible strength and resilience waiting to be discovered. And when we're treated as mere objects, remember that there's a divine presence who sees us for the beautiful, whole beings we are, created in his image. Believe me, I've been through it all. From navigating the uncertainties of puberty without proper education, to conquering promiscuity, from hustling in a sports bar as a shooter girl, to battling with porn addiction. My journey as a woman has been far from smooth sailing. And let's not forget the health challenges, thyroid issues, autoimmune conditions, and the roller coaster of menopause. Or I like to call it men-o-pause, because sometimes you just need to hit pause on those men. Am I right? I love you, Jimmy, and all the males in my life. Anyway, in this journey, I stand not alone, but shoulder to shoulder with countless women spanning from their teenage years to adulthood. Together, we confront so many challenges and life transitions, ranging from mental health battles such as depression and anxiety to navigating issues like eating disorders and gender dysphoria. From the complexities of singleness, dating, marriage, and motherhood to the pain of divorce and the solitude of widowhood, we navigate these valleys united. Through these trials, we emerge not only stronger, but also more resilient and empowered than ever before. Okay, so let me tell you a little about my experience growing up. I used to find comfort in the familiar escapes of Disney movies and the glamorous world of telenovelas, but it didn't take long for me to realize just how damaging the media's portrayal of beauty can be on a girl's self-esteem. Let me tell you, in today's world, with social media being everywhere and society constantly sexualizing women, the pressure can be even more intense. It's like we're constantly bombarded with these unrealistic beauty standards, and it can leave us feeling totally overwhelmed and like we're never good enough. But here's the thing, the tide is hopefully turning. We're starting to see more models out there who represent a wider range of body types and colors, showcasing the real beauty of the average American woman instead of those unattainable ideals we used to see everywhere. But even with this progress, the pressure to conform is still there. And as women, we often find ourselves seeking out that village that raises us, looking for validation and understanding in a world that's largely controlled by the wealthy who own the media outlets that feeds us these lies. We've definitely made some strides, but like I mentioned in another episode when talking about being a person of color, we as women still have a long way to go. It's a journey, and we've got to keep pushing forward and supporting each other along the way. Transitioning from a secular life to embracing Christianity at the age of 29 sparked a profound shift in my worldview. Suddenly, I found myself navigating the expectations placed on Christian women, particularly the idealized image portrayed in Proverbs 31. The concept of submission, whether to men in general or to my husband specifically, became a source of internal conflict. I vividly recall challenging these teachings, questioning their validity and implications, much to the frustration of some church leaders. Unfortunately, my inquiries often led to backlash, with individuals resorting to using scripture to reinforce traditional gender roles. It's essential to note that there's nothing inherently wrong with traditional gender roles. Many women find fulfillment in embracing these roles, and that's perfectly valid. However, my focus lies in advocating for women to have a voice and be authentic in their femininity spectrum, free from the guilt and shame imposed by societal norms. I believe that true conviction comes from God's word, allowing individuals to navigate their roles and identities with clarity and authenticity. My goal is to challenge harmful narratives, promote unity, and create spaces where both men and women are valued and respected equally. I once had a shirt long ago that I proudly wore that said, "Don't walk in front of me. I may not follow. Don't walk behind me. I may not lead. Walk beside me. Just be my friend." In the Gospel of John, there are profound accounts of Jesus demonstrating compassion, empathy, and empowerment towards women, challenging the societal norms of his time. One such poignant story is found in John 8, verses 1 through 11, which is my favorite story, where a woman caught in adultery is brought before Jesus by the scribes and Pharisees. seeking to trap him with a moral dilemma. Instead of condemning her, Jesus responds with compassion and wisdom, inviting anyone without sin to cast a first stone. As the crowd disperses, Jesus shows mercy to the woman, urging her to go and sin no more. This act of grace and forgiveness exemplifies Jesus' profound understanding of human frailty and his willingness to offer second chances. Additionally, the story of the woman who has been suffering from hemorrhage for 12 years. Hello to everyone who suffers from endometriosis, PCOS, and other female complications. I hear you. I've been there. Talking about Mark 5, verses 25 to 34, highlights Jesus' sensitivity to women's pain and his willingness to engage with them directly. Despite societal taboos surrounding menstrual issues and ritual impurity, Jesus responds with compassion and healing, affirming the woman's faith and restoring her to wholeness. Through these encounters and many others, Jesus not only addressed the physical needs of women, but also affirmed their dignity, worth, and spiritual value. As a therapist and woman who has wrestled with societal expectations and personal struggles, these stories resonate deeply with me. They remind us that regardless of our circumstances or societal labels, we are seen, valued, and loved by a God who understands our pain and offers us grace and redemption. It is through these teachings of compassion, understanding, and empowerment that I have found liberation and a newfound sense of worth, both personally and in my work with others. Being a seasoned Christian integrative counselor, I encourage women to challenge these societal norms and redefine their worth beyond superficial standards. In a world where women are often judged by unrealistic ideals and expectations, it's crucial to recognize our inherent value beyond these narrow confines. So, how can we, as women, holistically protect our mental health, drawing strength from both within and without? I created a checklist for women's mental health. So I'm going to go through them. So 1, embrace self-compassion. Recognize that it's okay not to be perfect and show yourself the same kindness and understanding you would offer to a friend. 2, prioritize self-care. Nurture your mind, body, and spirit through practices such as mindfulness, exercise, healthy eating, and engaging in activities that bring you joy. 3, seek support. Embrace the strength in seeking support from trusted friends, family members, or mental health professionals during challenging times. Consider finding a mental health counselor who specializes in women's issues, like me. Someone who understands the unique struggles and experiences that we face. Websites like Psychology Today offer a convenient platform where you can specify your preferences, including your location, insurance coverage, and specific needs to find a qualified clinical therapist who can provide the guidance and support you need. As a therapist who is passionate about empowering women, I encourage you to take the first step towards your self-discovery. 4, set boundaries. Cultivate the ability to confidently say no to commitments or relationships that deplete your energy and compromise your well-being. Prioritize your own needs by establishing those healthy boundaries that safeguard your mental and emotional health. Recognize the impact of negative influences, including social media and other sources of toxicity, which can subtly erode your inner peace and vitality. Practice the art of disconnecting from these harmful inputs to preserve the sanctity of your soul and nurture a sense of inner balance and serenity. Challenge negative thoughts. Practice cognitive behavioral techniques to challenge negative thought patterns and cultivate a more positive and empowering mindset. Here are some examples of cognitive behavioral techniques that I use with some of my clients. Identify and label. Start by identifying the negative thought and labeling it as such. Recognize when you're engaging in self-critical or pessimistic thinking. I usually tell my client to, they're called ants. I know Dr. Amen talks about that, the automatic negative thoughts, like we have to stomp them out. But I want you to become a curious observer of your negative thoughts. So when it comes up, it's like, wait, where is this coming from? And then that's when you identify and label it. And then you have to question the evidence. Challenge the evidence supporting the negative thought. Ask yourself if there are any facts or evidence that contradict or challenge the validity of that thought. Like, where's the evidence that's happening? Don't make assumptions. And, it's like having that understanding of where this thought is coming from, the why is it happening? Where did it come from? And what are you going to do about it? Right? Without shame or guilt. Consider alternatives. Explore alternative explanations or interpretations of the situation. Is there a different, more balanced way to view the situation that takes into account other perspectives or factors? Reality testing. Test the accuracy of the negative thought by examining past experiences or seeking feedback from others. Are there instances where the thought has been disproven or situations where it doesn't hold true? Reframe and refocus. Reframe the negative thought into a more realistic or positive statement. Replace self-defeating thoughts with affirmations or statements that promote self-confidence and empowerment. Or what I like to do with my Christian clients is to find a Bible verse that you memorize, and that's what you start memorizing and saying out loud to yourself. So by practicing some of these cognitive behavioral techniques, you can challenge negative thought patterns and cultivate a more positive and empowering mindset. Number 6, connect with community. Surround yourself with supportive and uplifting communities of women who genuinely understand and validate your experiences. Seek out connections that nurture your growth and well-being, steering clear of toxic influences such as self-help books or social media content that promotes selfishness and unhealthy habits. I recall encountering advice from sources that advocated for rash decisions like leaving a spouse, which in abuse cases is a totally different story, and that's for a different podcast. Or prioritizing personal desires without considering the broader implications. Thankfully, I've been blessed with a circle of friends who share my faith and offer unconditional love and support. These individuals have been instrumental in speaking truth into my life in a holistic manner, providing accountability and guidance. It's crucial to recognize the importance of accountability in navigating life's challenges, as our hearts can often deceive us, leading to hurtful decisions stemming from unresolved wounds or unhealthy coping mechanisms learned from our upbringing. By surrounding ourselves with a community that fosters growth, empathy, and wisdom, we can embark on a journey of healing and self-discovery with confidence. Spiritual nourishment, number 7. Find solace in your spiritual beliefs and practices, whether it's through prayer, meditation, or connecting with the natural world around you. Embrace the understanding that as natural-born women, our biology mirrors the cycles of nature, akin to experiencing 4 seasons in a month through our monthly cycle. I like when I work with my women clients, I kind of try to get them to understand like where their winter, spring, summer, fall of the month is. And then we work around those times too, because at sometimes in your winter season of the month, you need to be a little more gentle. It's okay to have the macaroni and cheese. Anyway, let's let go of any shame associated with these natural processes, recognizing that menopause is our second puberty, marking a transformative phase of life. Our wrinkles and grays are not signs of decline, but symbols of wisdom, resilience, and strength. In a world where charm and beauty are often fleeting, it's important to remember that true beauty lies in depth of our character and the richness of our experiences. For centuries, the wise gray-haired woman was revered across cultures, embodying a profound sense of knowledge and insight. Together, let us reclaim this reverence and celebrate the beauty of aging with grace and dignity. Number 8, educate yourself. Take the time to learn about mental health, or how I like to see it, brain health. Recognize the signs and symptoms and advocate for your well-being. Here are some steps. Research. Take the initiative to research various mental health conditions, their symptoms, and their impacts on individuals' lives. Use reputable sources such as books, academic articles, and credible websites. In the show notes, I will provide a few resources. Attend workshops and seminars. Attend workshops, seminars, or webinars on mental health topics to deepen your understanding and gain insights from experts in the field. Online courses. Enroll in online courses related to mental health, psychology, or self-care. Many platforms offer courses taught by professionals that cover a wide range of topics. Seek professional guidance. Consider consulting with mental health professionals, such as therapists or counselors, to gain personalized insights and guidance on specific mental health concerns. Join a support group. Joining support groups for individuals with similar mental health experiences can provide valuable information and shared experiences. Read personal accounts. Read memoirs or personal accounts written by individuals who have struggled with mental health issues. These narratives can offer unique perspectives and insights into the lived experiences of mental illness. Stay informed. Stay up to date on current events, research findings, and advancements in the field of mental health through reputable sources like scientific journals, news articles, and online platforms. And then advocate for yourself. Be proactive in advocating for your own well-being by communicating your needs and concerns to healthcare providers. Because I know there's a lot of healthcare providers that will gaslight you. I know I've been through numerous when I was going through quite a few different issues. And I realized I had to learn how to advocate for myself. And that's what I do in therapy with some of my women that are learning how to do the same. 9, prioritize physical health. Here's a concise list, okay? And I'm not talking about, eating right and exercising. I want you to understand this is not about vanity. This is about sanity. That's what I want to get across. It's not about your how you look on the outside. It's about what's going on in the inside and your brain and all your organs and all your cells. That's what I'm talking about. So schedule regular checkups. Make it a priority to schedule routine checkups with your healthcare provider to monitor your physical well-being and address any health concerns proactively. And with that health provider, make sure that they're integrative and functional, someone that understands the whole being, that they don't just see the one part, here's the heart doctor, which we all, you create a table for you where you have all your professionals and that they come along as you advocate for yourself. Consider comprehensive blood work, not just the T1 and T3, whatever, the hormone levels that I remember they used to check on me, my endocrinologist back in the day. And then they're like, oh, you're fine. Everything's in your head. And I'm just like, no, I feel something. And that's another, if you listen to the acupuncture episode, you'll hear the little bit of the story of what happened to me. So consider comprehensive blood work. Mind environmental factors. Please be mindful of the impact of environmental factors such as microplastics and harmful skincare ingredients. Take steps to minimize exposure and opt for natural, non-toxic alternatives whenever possible. We women are sold such a bill of goods of all these different, you walk into any department store and what is there? All these perfumes, all this makeup and everything. And you don't understand that your skin is the biggest organ and it will take in all these things. And then we're wondering why we might be a little anxious. It could be actually the stuff you're putting on your skin. So please learn about that. Learn about how these things are made and what you're putting on and advocate for yourself. And then seek second opinions. It's always wise to seek a second opinion if you receive a diagnosis or a treatment recommendation. Consulting another healthcare provider can provide valuable insights, ensuring a comprehensive evaluation of your condition and exploration of all valuable and available treatment options. I recommend considering a functional integrative doctor who embraces both Eastern and Western medicine approaches. Look for a provider who prioritizes individualized care and respects you as a unique individual, rather than simply just rushing you through appointments in the conventional healthcare system that has been created this now. Hopefully things are changing. Number 10, question cultural expectations. Dare to challenge societal norms and cultural pressures that enforce unrealistic standards, including the expectation to embody the flawless image of the perfect Christian woman depicted in Proverbs 31. Understand that the pursuit of perfection is a fruitless endeavor and does not define your true worth. It's crucial to acknowledge that being a superwoman with an immaculate home, thriving career, and picture-perfect family is an unattainable standard that often leads to feelings of inadequacy, and burnout. As someone who once grappled with these expectations upon embracing Christianity, particularly the notion of submission to my husband as a marker of virtue, I understand the internal conflict and pressure to prioritize others' needs above my own. It's vital to recognize that practicing self-care is not selfish, but essential for maintaining your well-being and vitality. Let us challenge these outdated beliefs and embrace a more balanced and compassionate approach to living our lives authentically and unapologetically. Taking care of your mental health is a journey, and it's essential to prioritize yourself and seek the support you need along the way. You are worthy of love, care, and understanding. Remember, dear sisters, you are not alone in your struggles. By embracing a holistic approach to mental health, and drawing inspiration from the teachings of Jesus and other empowering figures, we can navigate through life's challenges with grace, resilience, and a renewed sense of purpose. Proverbs 31:30 does say, "Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised." Reflecting on this timeless wisdom, particularly verse 30, I'm reminded not to compare myself to the woman described therein, but rather to draw inspiration from her qualities. God has placed her prominently in Scripture for a reason, and it's important that we take note without falling into the trap of shame, guilt, or comparison. Instead, let's focus on the heart of the matter, measuring ourselves against the values she embodies rather than a rigid standard. This verse prompts me to prioritize inner strength, reverence for the divine, and unwavering character over fleeting external standards. It's crucial to acknowledge the impact of external influences and societal narratives that sow seeds of fear, doubt, and insecurity from a young age. By embracing the freedom found in Christ and challenging the falsehoods perpetuated both within and outside of religious communities, we can reclaim our sense of worth and purpose. This realization empowers me to navigate life with confidence, knowing that my true beauty and value stem from a heart grounded in faith and integrity. Let's take action together. Let's seek help, therapy, and the transformative love of Jesus to break free from the chains of insecurity and step into the fullness of who we are meant to be. In closing, I like to share a poem that I penned back in September 2022. Shortly after I made the decision to shave my head. If you're curious about the motivation behind that bold move, you can explore the subject in my forthcoming poetry collection titled Anima Resuscitation, which I hope will be released later this year. This poem is called Femininity Cocoon, a second puberty of the feminine, punished by a society of gentlemen, staying skinny as a skeleton as we continue losing estrogen. Westernization of the womanizer, believing the lying advertiser, in the palm of the colonizer, while we become the equalizer, urging, purging, fighting to be securely respected, while our parts are being dissected. Little girls are disgustingly subjected, pornography and trafficking infected. 5 decades of the feminine road, trying to figure out the biblical code. Cocoon in Jesus' episode as we deal with the overload. Surging, emerging, on a road of soulful dreams, where menopause is esteemed, where periods are not unclean, not our body, but brains are seen. Chrysalis becoming deeper, transform us into new creatures, silencing the oppressive preachers, wings drying to fly as radiant teachers. Daughters of the King, merging, disturbing the status quo. Thanks for listening. Remember, trust in the Lord, guard your heart, and renew your mind. Bye. And now for the disclaimer to make sure you understand that you are responsible for you. The content provided on the Holistic Counselor podcast is for entertainment and informational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified mental health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical or mental condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking it because of something you have heard on this podcast. The views expressed on this podcast are my personal opinions and do not represent the views of any professional organizations with which I am affiliated. Call your doctor, 911, or 988 immediately if you have a medical emergency. The Holistic Counselor podcast does not recommend or endorse any specific tests, physicians, products, procedures, opinions, or other information that may be mentioned on the podcast. Reliance on any information provided by the Holistic Counselor podcast, guests appearing on the podcast at the invitation of the Holistic Counselor podcast, or other listeners to the podcast is solely at your own risk. Confidentiality notice. If you engage with the Holistic Counselor podcast by commenting or posting and are a client, please be aware that you may be revealing information that could compromise your confidentiality. Please remember that disclosing your identity or personal details can be linked to your clinical material. As a therapist, I am bound by confidentiality and will not respond to any disclosures of this type on this podcast. I am committed to upholding the ethics and confidentiality of the therapeutic relationship, which extends to all forms of communication in accordance with the laws and professional guidelines that govern mental health professionals. I want you to know that your privacy is of utmost importance, and you are responsible for protecting it when interacting on this platform or any other public forum. Thank you.